John Phillips with us, attorney, great, licensed in many states we're on, and if he's not licensed in your state, he'll still try to point you in the right direction. We're looking for doozy stuff today, 866-977-DOUS. There's a chick on Twitter who has tweeted me. Her name is Alicia, and she's, in my opinion, super hot. But I wish you would have called because we have so many questions, and maybe John can answer this, maybe not. Says, my brother's being offered a plea deal for something he didn't do. Should he take the deal or go to trial? Could face 20 years.
It always depends on the deal. You know, if it's a slap on the wrist and it's the evidence against you, even though you didn't do it, is troublesome. There's just some. You don't have an alibi. You know, sometimes you take those deals. It's tough. I hate doing it because there's no justice in that, but. Yeah. You know, there's also no justice in sitting in jail and spending a lot of money on an appeal. So,
like that football player that was Brian Banks, that his name? The guy that
absolutely.
Yeah, that poor guy who, you know, gave away 10 years of his life for the most part and because of a plea deal, and you know, he only had like just a certain amount of time to decide if he was going to take the deal or not. He didn't have really time to think about it. That's another issue.
I had a guy come in last month who spent 30 days in jail. He was a truck driver. I know you guys have a lot of truck driver listeners, and his company turned him in for not turning in his trailer bed, saying that he kept it, he stole it. And the guy had essentially a receipt saying, a bill of lading saying that he turned it in, and spent 30 days in jail. Didn't hire a lawyer, and you know, they ignored some evidence and said we're prosecuting the trucking company for malicious prosecution for filing it when they had the truck. But it's just more problems that you don't want to deal with. Things are stressful.
I hate dealing with you guys.
I really do. I mean, no offense. Hey. It's just tough. It really is. You guys have the ability to take your emotion and everything out of it and treat it as business. When it's happening to you as a person, oh my God! It's just it's so much bigger to us.
Hey, I want to speak in code for a moment.
Becomes the victim.
I want to speak in code for a moment. How we doing, by the way?
Fantastic.
All right, good. All right. Talk to you later.
Yeah. If you guys had any idea, you need an update.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right.
Definitely.
So we got your calls right now for John. There's some really good ones up here, and I know it's just like the point I was trying to make was, even though it may be piddly to some of us, we know how it affects you guys. We really do. Our job is to tell some stupid jokes in there. John's job is to help you out. But we do know it's serious to you. And when I just read that tweet, facing up to 20 years, my God, just made my stomach turn over something that, just saying if you didn't do it, you didn't do it. I would be beating my head against a wall. I didn't do it, you sons of bitches.
You know, these people go and they hire a lawyer, and then they're with this mega law firm. The lawyer won't return his calls. You know, or you get like the Jerry Amendola guy, Joseph Amendola, that just is grandstanding. And it's, you know, my grandfather and great grandfather were lawyers, and it's why it used to be a noble profession, and there's just so many bad apples out there. It's unfortunate.
All right, so Lex, what do you want to go to, man?
I like several of them up there.
Personal injury.
You want personal injury?
Oh,
I love personal injury.
Okay.
We got them. Here's one that says had a motorcycle accident. Is that a good one?
There you go.
Had an accident, 20 years old, screwed up credit.
No, that's not good. There was one up there. I guess it disappeared. There's a
DUI.
There's a DUI, a guy with a couple DUIs. And
personal injury and criminal are what I do best. So.
Well, let's go to line 10, I think probably be the best one. Closest thing to it. Gerald in Mobile.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. It's also a state that John practices in, so this is good. Go ahead, Gerald.
About 3 years ago, 2009, matter of fact, the day of my birthday, I had a motorcycle accident on a street bike, just going up the road. Me and another guy were street racing. Well, he locked him up. I clipped him, and I wound up in the hospital. I left on a stretcher. He rode away on his bike, no injury, refused medical treatment, refused the tow truck, drove away. A couple of weeks later, Progressive Insurance announces to me that they have dropped me and is suing me for $7,500, and on a bike that he drove away on. And lo and behold, it's been 3 years. This has been going on. They keep getting it continued. I have a lawyer, and he thinks the outlook's really good, but they just keep continuing. I think they're just trying to bleed us dry. I don't know what to do.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you said, the most troublesome thing you said there was street racing. That's.
I thought it was an insurance company.
That was troublesome to me too.
Because Alabama has what's called contributory negligence. It's one of the few states that do, where if you're 1% at fault, you have no case. And again, it depends on the nature of your claim. I don't know much about it, but your lawyers, sounds like he's handling it. The insurance companies now have realized that time is money for these guys, and every $100 they have in the bank for an extra 6 months means more to them times a million policyholders than it does than paying that claim. So it's been a series of delay with all litigation.
Yeah, you're getting bled, dude. You know it. You know what's going on.
Yeah. It's so obvious, and I'm real familiar with the 1% law, and from what I understand, my aunt's an insurance adjuster, so she explained that to me. She said it doesn't matter whose fault it was. If he had any type of, if he's even at 1% at fault, then he's
got it.
They have no claim.
We got you.
Thank you, Gerald.
That's it. And a lot of times in Alabama, and I was born in Mobile Infirmary. I went to law school there, but not at Mobile Infirmary, but at Alabama.
That's what I was to say. Yeah.
And I was that smart.
I'd keep that. I'd keep that to yourself.
And a lot of times juries will ignore contributory negligence and say, "All right, I don't see it." But when you've got street racing as the cause, you might not ever want to say that to anybody in a deposition.
I can't get over how many phone calls you get. I cannot believe this. Cracks me up. How many calls we have coming in for John Phillips right now? It's absolutely crazy.
I do like this call on two. I think.
Okay. We just hung up on that guy. I just had him lined up.
Oh
right.
God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It was a drug
that was
deal
probably
guy.
my $1 million case.
It probably was.
David,
Yes.
you're on with John. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm just trying to find out what the law is on searches of your property. If you say, like, you get pulled over, and you tell them they cannot search the vehicle, but yet they still say, well, I smell marijuana. I mean, that which I know for a fact he didn't.
Well, let him answer the question. Go ahead, John.
Generally, the search has to be reasonable and tied to their suspicions. If they say they smell marijuana and then go search your trunk and you have a pound of marijuana, it's going to be tougher on you than if they say you smell like marijuana and they open up the trunk and there's a dead hooker. So it's a lot of this comes out after the fact, and it's called the fruit of the poison tree doctrine. If they found something that they shouldn't have and it was an illegal search, a good lawyer can suppress what they found and the crime they originally charged you with. So it's just, it's tough with cops. I always say, just refuse. Don't say anything. Just whatever it is, don't blow. For the most part, don't cooperate as much as possible. That sounds terrible, but
the thing is they continually do it and they don't find anything.
Right, and that's. Hopefully they continue not to find anything. But it's.
I want to know what they're looking
have some
for.
degree to do a reasonable search and seizure.
Yeah. Why are you so search friendly? That's what we want to know.
I don't know. I wish I did know, but every time I think you get pulled over, they want to search my vehicle.
We know, David.
And
What does your vehicle look like?
Well, it's a red S10 pickup truck.
Made out of hemp.
Nothing special.
Yeah, with a big pot leaf logo on the side.
No.
All right, thank you, David. Yeah.
With an
I want a dead
sticker
hooker
on the
call.
back.
Can we get a dead hooker call? By the way, here's that girl that tweeted me, Alicia. Alicia, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Go ahead.
Hey, okay, so my brother, a couple years back, he was basically accused of molesting my niece, which basically 90% of my family feels like this is totally false. And right now he's facing like about 20 years in prison, and we're not sure if he should take a plea deal or go to trial.
Yeah, that's terribly unfortunate. What's the deal they're offering?
Well, they've offered several. We've been to trial a couple times, and there was a few mistrials due to the prosecution. But the plea deal right now is basically 5 years probation on a Class D felony. And then, like, he has to submit an HIV test to my sister once a month. He has to pay for her counseling. He has to also go to, like, sexual predator counseling. It's
right.
Really ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
it really depends on what alibis and what backup he has. If they've got good evidence in his defense and he hasn't done anything else, wrong. He's, maybe he didn't do this one, but he was in the wrong place, the wrong time on another one too. That's the kind of stuff that I look for when trying to decide. All right, look, I've got a client that says they're innocent. I believe in them. But there's a lot of, what we call baggage. I think everybody calls it baggage. There's a lot of baggage here. I got to weigh it. But it's ultimately a decision he needs to make with his attorney. It's hard for as another, armchair quarterback, another attorney to look and say, is this fair? Is this not fair? It sounds, no jail time is always good when you're facing a felony, but, the felony's always going to be on his record, and all the testing and stuff is going to invade his privacy for years to come, and it's tough.
Yeah, that's especially the sexual stuff. I mean, when all of a sudden you've got, some people that are maybe they're going through a bitter child separation or divorce, and all of a sudden they throw that on top of you. There's nothing worse to do. I really wish the laws were, if you accuse me of something and I didn't do it, and you have to pay all this money, and I have to face this stuff, you should actually get the exact punishment I was going to get for accusing me.
Right. You can sue somebody for malicious prosecution and defamation, and most states have laws that make it essentially slander per se to accuse anybody of anything sexually perverse or related. He gave me an STD kind of stuff. Yeah. But again, people generally don't have assets, and insurance doesn't cover that type of stuff, any intentional acts. So it's the laws are great, but if you don't collect anything, nobody really suffers. And the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I need stretch the imagination.
I wanted to say something very insensitive to her. Lex, I posted you. I gave you the picture of her on Twitter. The girl who calls hot.
Yeah.
If hotness runs in the family. Just saying. All right.
You are nasty.
She's
I'm going for the joke, sons of bitches.
She's full grown.
You're nasty.
SharingEqualsCaring.com.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, John, thanks again today, and we want everybody to go ahead and go to SharingEqualsCaring.com. Vote for John Phillips. Let's get him over the hump. Let's get him the $10,000. He's gonna add another $2,500 to the pot. It's going to be huge, and let's really go to our people.
Gas card to the person that helps us the most this week.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like one of the givers get it.
All right, John. We're up against a break, buddy. We appreciate it, man. We'll do this next month. People love it, and we'll see you then. In the meantime, we got the last hour coming up, and we'll be right back. It's Lex and Terry.